And this anyway, so now you might have made your guess, this is going to be a read stuff, right? Read or process, great. Good. And just want to check out, did anyone go through those recordings or by any chance? I mean, is there any sort of issue that you're finding in the recording so that we can progress? So only 4 sessions are over. So these coming sessions are the prime important ones. So that we can, if the pace is a little higher in pace or the tone is bass is too high, so anything that needs to be changed looking into those videos, because that videos is going to be a key thing for you, because something which you're not able to recollect or this thing, everything is great. All right, great for the immediate response.
Shazi, Tarun this side.
Tarun, please go ahead, Tarun. Yeah, what is your suggestion?
Not a suggestion. I had a question in my mind. What exactly is there inside the FS image? Is that metadata?
Okay. Yes, correct. That's a metadata. So, okay. So, all right. So, what exactly contains the FS image will be the metadata or the data which we spoke about. So, I had. Do you want me to pick up those? Everyone is aware of the name node and the data node now, right? So, data node.
Not required. Not required. Okay.
So, inside the data node, whatever was contained inside the data node, that will be information of that data node contents will be picked up and then directly pushed into the FS image. So what you need to understand is the file name, how many number of replicas, what is the size of that particular file, all those kind of high level information about that particular file and about that complete node, whatever the file contains, all those information will be accumulated and sent it. Okay, let me ask you one prime question now, since you data about the data, correct? Your voice is breaking in mid. All right. Let me put my speaker a little. All right. Okay, so I guess it's fine now. One question. Now, I have one file which is of 20 GB. Okay. It has 3 replica. Hope everyone understand what exactly. What is the file duplication called? In Hadoop terms?
Replication factor.
Great, replication factor. Okay, yeah, RF is what you need to remember. Not just replication factor. Okay, now 20 GB of data. Okay, I have 3 replication available for this. It's been, I have 3 data node 1. Okay, I have 5 data node in fact. Okay, data node 1, data node 3, and data node 5. Okay, this is how exactly my replication is stored. And file name, let me name it as emp.txt. This is my file name. This is my name. This is of 20 GB in size. 3 replication. It's sitting in data node 1, data node 3, and data node 5. That's exactly the data I was talking about. Okay. And now there is one more guy who is department.txt. There's another file which is just 3 GB in size. Okay, this has 3 replication. This is sitting in node 2, data node 3, and data node 4. Okay. Now, I mean, I'm just trying to get this question because of Tarun's question. Okay, but pretty good. I mean, you made me remind me of something that needs to be cleared. Okay, now, so file sitting in the data node. So everyone is clear with that concept, right? How exactly the data will be sitting in the data node. And now my question is, this information is the one which is going to go to the name node as a metadata. Sorry, the information that is given below. Okay, this information. Which of this metadata, okay, is going to occupy huge space, or what kind of space is going to be this 2 different. Think of this is coming from. This is coming from. This is coming from node 3. Okay, and this is coming from node 1. Okay, so these are the only files available in I mean, the information available over there. Okay, so which particular node information will be heavier or more content? Or I'm really not able to ask you that what exactly I want to ask. Uh, okay, let me calm down now. So what I tend to ask you is, there is a file, okay, it's 20 GB of size, and it has been scanned up across 3 different nodes, and then the separate node, this is 3 GB, okay, 1 GB, correct, 3 GB. Yeah, some of the answers I'm getting, some 3 GB will have a bigger space. What I wanted to tell you is, if it's going to be 20 GB or if it's going to be 300 terabyte, okay, the space that will be contained in the metadata is going to be exactly maybe how much it can be, maybe 2 KB, or maybe how many number of bytes, maybe 1 KB, or maybe that is how the data will be for this particular file as well as for this particular file. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is, even though the data is in a huge and a humongous way, but still the information about the data is going to be exactly one and the same, right? So here it's 3 GB, but here it's 300 terabyte. Okay, but still the information about this data is going to be simple as 1 KB. Is that complicating terms, or is that clear? Yes, metadata is small. So I mean, what the prime stuff, what I'm talking about, yes, metadata is small for everyone, but what I'm trying to say is, see, the humongous data, what has been sitting over here, does not impact the metadata that is present. Metadata is data about the data. It's just going to say, instead of 3 GB, what is this file size? It's just going to say it's 300 terabyte. That's all it's going to say. None of the content of that particular node is going to go and sit in the name node. It's just going to say, okay, instead of 3 gigabyte, this particular guy has 300 terabyte. That's all the information. And where all is that particular guy sitting? That's all the information it is going to tell. Okay. So that's why edit log are merged in the yeah. Okay.
So because just kind of labeling would be sitting there inside and
exactly. Exactly. It's just a label that is sitting in the name node.
But I had a doubt. I mean to say, block report also going to do the same stuff, right?
Block is the one who is actually doing it, and block report is being accumulated together to sit in the FS image. So you remember yesterday we have spoken about FS image and edit log. Yeah. Right. So in case that is not clear, I mean, I would recommend highly to just go through that video once again. So there we are explaining it, how exactly the edit log and FS emoji is getting merged, right? So when a block report is being sent, that block report is directly going getting edited to the edit log. And at one fashion and some certain scenario, this edit log and FS image is getting merged. So I mean, in case that's not clear, I mean, just make sure you're listening to that once. Things should be clear. I mean, in case if still that is not clear, let's discuss that on the coming
No, it's okay. Shazi, actually, I already gone through the recording, so I was getting this doubt. Block report is whatever the stuff is getting processed, or whatever is the remaining one, or how much space is left. It is going to be stored in the edit logs.
Perfect.
Other than this, metadata stats would be there inside the FS image.
This stat is the stat which has been previously accumulated is there in the FS image, right? And it's exactly what edit log, and you need to understand the merging concept of FS image and edit log, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what is happening. So whenever it comes real-time basis, it's getting edit log is getting updated, but in the behind the scene, when maybe 1 hour or 2 hours time period, it's getting merged, and that's how the FS image is getting fully completely made. So that's one difference you need to understand.
Okay. So do we have any list of parameters? What all parameters to be there inside FS? I mean to say single record. Okay, probably it will come in the later classes.
Yes. So, but if you say this is exactly how FS image is going to look like, but not in a readable format, but it'll be a binary kind of a format. But this is exactly how the content will look like. This is text name, that file name, how much size, what's going to be how many replication factor, and which all node it's sitting. So this is exactly how your name metadata data
I got
is
it.
going to look
Hmm.
like. Okay.
Right. Thanks.
Let's now, no problem. So let's play around with some of this environment. Okay. So for those of you, did I getting this, installing the Hadoop acadgil VM and then played around with it? Any sort of data that has been push command, creating directory and all those commands? Anyone tried? Okay. So not me. Okay. So Sabna, you're able to do put command and all those things. You're able to try doing that, or you might have just installed. Okay. No issues. One thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one document with you guys. Let me see if I have this document. No. Okay, yeah, this is the document which I'm going to, yeah, mkdir put command, get command. Yes, that's all. We are going to see that. I mean, today's session is more about how to get a feel around with what commands that needs to be, the basic commands. So I'm going to share this document. By any chance, anyone recollect seeing this document? I'm assuming no. If that is the case, I'll be sharing this document immediately after the session. After, yeah, so there is typical way of how to bring up the environment and see what are the process running and all those things. Okay. Whatever the process running and all those commands you need to see and figure out what are the process up and running. So I have my environment set now. So I'll just, so this document is something which I'm going to share with you guys. Everyone can try. So what key point to be remembered when you after the installation, a catgil password is going to be a catgil for you guys. So that's all. After that, what you need to do is sudo service sshd start. So this sshd service you're going to start. Okay. Okay, that might be from the previous batch or something, because you can use that. Yeah, start all daemons. So basically this is what you're going to do. Okay, let me bring in the session directly and then show that. That will make you guys more comfortable. Okay, so everyone able to see my session. Let me expand it a little bit more. Okay, so a catgil password. Okay, let me accept. All right. So hope, I mean, those of you who have not really started playing around with the environment. Okay, so this is what the note. Fine. This is where you can see the terminal. Another place where you can see is inside application, system tools, and this is terminal. Okay, clicking on it. Basics, I would assume you guys would have looked into some of those basic commands like ls is what listing, ls minus lrt is another listing command, some basic Unix command. Okay, cd change directory and how exactly, I mean, that are the key things. Make directory, mkdir, some of those you need to, I mean, those are the Unix command. And what exactly Hadoop guys have done is they have, so that it can be made so intuitional that same exact similar Unix command is being taken up for the Hadoop purpose as well, so that you don't need to learn multiple things. So exact same command that has been used in the Unix environment is being utilized for the Hadoop environment as well. Okay, so when I say that, the first thing what you need to do is, first your installation is complete. Okay, exit is the keyword for exit. Okay, so first and the foremost thing what you need to do is open the terminal, type in a JPS command. Okay, so your environment is properly set only and only in case if you are able to see name node, data node, which we already know what exactly is that, right? Node manager and resource manager. Okay, and we have a job history server as well. Okay, so all this information is available in the document which I'm talking about, which I'm going to share with you guys post the session. So this contains the document how exactly you can enable. Okay, so in order to enable those command, or in order to enable this process, name node, resource node, secondary name node, data node, everything, simple command start -all.sh. In Cloudera environment, to see this, it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be JPS. So you may have to type in sudo JPS in Cloudera environment. That's what you may have to do. In the Catgill environment, the moment you do a JPS, you should be able to get it. So where exactly is my environment? Yeah. So what the command I'm giving is, all right. So I'm able to see all this in Cloudera. If you're doing it, it should be sudo JPS, because you may not have you may not have privilege for seeing it in the Cloudera environment. That's the reason for it. Okay. So this, what has been shown over here, I think that should have been my question rather than your question. You remember what all things we said? Master, we had a master, we had a slave, both in terms of storing as well as in terms of processing, right? Okay, Mac, I'll come back to you. So name node, data node, these are all what we spoke about in the previous session. I showed you a separate computer, right? A master computer was there, a node computer was there. So now I'm going to slightly deviate from some of the concepts which I spoke about. That's what all these things, once you need to make it till the time you are concrete with your concepts. Okay. So since I showed you one computer, name node, another computer, data node, right? 3 computers I showed you as a data node. Now what you need to understand is that computer which I'm talking about, okay, that is actually not a real hard computer. It's actually a process running on top. So in case if I want, so right now what you're seeing, I don't have multiple computers running, right? I just have one single computer. I'm using one single computer as this VM. Right? And when I run this command, in my computer, I have, so basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 processes running, right? So what it means is the picture that you have made up on your mind, so that's not really a computer, it's actually a process running. Okay, so that's all you need to understand. I mean, in case if it's very tough for you to picture imagination, so think it as a independent computer. So when I say that, what is happening in that particular computer or with that master computer, I'll have only one process running. Okay, and that is only the one single name node running in that particular system. That's exactly what it means. Not really. It's not. Yeah, correct. It's actually a different JVM system, JVM instances running. So it's a different JVM instances running. So this is another one JVM. This is another JVM. So all these are multiple JVM instances running. That's correct.
Shazi.
Yeah.
What is this job history server? It was not there in your diagrams earlier.
Yeah. So job history server is the advancement from the previous step. So initially, when the Hadoop 1 was there, every task was done by who was doing the complete processing task? That was done by job tracker, right? No, job tracker.
Correct.
Complete processing. So that once the processing is complete, what was happening is every information was still kept on the job tracker. But now when the process, when we're going to see that a little bit in an elaborate way in the future session, but it's good to know that what is happening. So in the second, in terms of Hadoop 2.star version, all this responsibility of job tracker is being taken up by, okay, now before that itself, Vikal Vedant, okay, resource manager, right? And the resource manager is now sharing his responsibilities with whom all are he sharing his responsibility with? You guys are super, man. Application manager and task manager. Sorry, not task manager, application manager and node manager. It's not TM, it's NM. Okay, so application manager is the key guy over here. So what is happening is when you do some processing, till the time that process runs, okay, that till the time application manager is going to log that particular information. But the moment that task is completed, that particular task goes away from the application manager stuff. Okay, because the life of application manager is limited to the time that particular application runs. In other words, that's how I would like to state it. So when an application is being asked to run, till that time that log also will be maintained in the application master. But once the task is complete, immediately application manager is going to get killed by itself. Okay. So once it's done, so where exactly I need to have my log information, right? 10 hours back, what exactly happened to my system? I should have some sort of a logging mechanism. So that logging mechanism is run by job history server. So application manager, whatever task was running, that information is getting transferred to this process, job history server process. Not much of that is being detailed unless until you are in an administrator step, but it's good to know what exactly is happening around it. All right, now let's move on. Okay, so now what I would plan to do is, actually I should have tried some of this stuff before. Okay, so let's try some of these commands directly from here. Okay, and you guys are going to help me out doing it. Okay, now what I want to do is, I wanted to see a root command. Okay, I want you guys to help me out in finding out how exactly what is sitting in the root, what all the directories are sitting. I want to find out what should be the command. No, in terms of Hadoop environment, PWD is going to tell me present working directory in the Linux environment. So if I want to know what is sitting in my Hadoop environment, what is the command for that? Good. So yeah, it is either Hadoop dfs -ls and the root command, okay? Or you can even give it as hdfs, gfs, hdfs. I mean, I have practiced from my 3 years this one. So -ls/. So it's up to you, whichever you're comfortable. Why the Mac? Why the Mac? Good question, Vikalp. But you should ask Mac. You can answer to that. Why do you know everything? Yeah, give some chance to Vikalp too, man. Okay, all right. I guess he has done some sort of background study before this for sure. Oh, okay, used to study 2 hours. Okay, so good. All right. Customers.csv. Okay, so there is already some file sitting over here. Is it great? That's good. Don't worry, Kaushik. So you are also going to be soon another Vikalp within 3 to 4 sessions of ours. So you can also start showing off. Yeah. So let's bring in the next one. So this is a command. So everyone is aware of that now, right? Let me stick on to move out of my comfort zone and do the Hadoop dfs -ls is what we are given. And so now what I want to see is I see that there is a customer, and I hope you guys remember the stuff which we spoke about. This one. Replication factor, great. Okay, so now if I want to see what is my customer.csv. Okay, just before that, let's see, is there anything sitting in this ACAD? Okay, now what I want to do is, I wanted to find something. Is there a data sitting inside this ACAD directory? How do I do that? I need to find out what is sitting inside my ACAD directory. How do I do that? So Hadoop dfs, now what? Yes, how do I do that? That's my question. Now I wanted to see what is sitting inside my cd to ACAD. Yes, so that's the key point which I want to bring in. There is no cd command in Hadoop environment. Yeah. All right. So Hadoop hdfs dfs -ls. I need to go till that ACAD. Okay. So that's how I'm assuming I'm not fast. Right, you're able to figure out what exactly. So with that command, what I'm trying to do is ACAD/in-data and out-data. I can see multiple data sitting over here. Okay, and how do I? Okay, and what exactly is that? Is this a file or is this a directory? How to come out? Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay. How did you find out that, Swapna? How do you know that it's not a file? It's a directory. No, that's not the reason, Raquel. But it's good. So make sure your intuition, just bring it out. Because if you say that, there is a couple or n number of guys who is thinking that, but they don't want to express their thoughts. But it's good to have your thoughts being expressed. So maybe it's not correct, so that you can correct it out. And what we are here for the session. So yeah. So permission, great. So that's exactly how it is. No. Answer is not suffix. Unix system does not have any significance of emp.txt, emp.doc. Unix doesn't have any significance on the extension part. So you understood it just because of the D part. Great. Great, Manoj. So this is what signifies it's going to be a directory for you. Okay. So let's bring on some more guys in data. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to go inside in data. Okay. All right. Okay. Inside in data. Oh my God. It's again DC. I'm going one by one. Now it's a file. Okay. Let me put in this command. Let me put this chat. Okay. Now let's do this. Okay. Now what you can see is, I guess someone has asked what is .csv. CSV is nothing but comma separated. What is that? V stands for value, I believe. Comma separated value. Okay. So this is what it signifies. Now it's going to be a file. So this transaction.csv is nothing but a file for us now. Okay. But yeah, in Unix environment, this doesn't have any significance. Okay. So now I wanted to read this particular file. What is the command I should be using for that? Vim. No, I don't think there's any Vim in our environment. Is it? Or I'm not sure. I don't think Hadoop has a Vim command. Great. That's a cat command. Okay. So let me do that cat. Hold on a minute. Let me try to expand it a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So now what you're going to do, yeah. So instead of ls /trans, and it's case sensitive. Okay. So transactions.csv, and then instead of ls, okay, let's try with ls, so that I just want to make sure that I have not made any spelling mistake over there, and then put a cat command over there. Okay. So how big is that file? Okay, maybe a bigger one. Okay, a smaller file. So this, I might have processed with something. Vim for report. No, Vim is actually an editor, right? Hadoop cannot accept any sort of editor or anything of that sort in the Hadoop environment. No. So reading the file, this is all the method. So in case if you want to do it, you might have to bring in back to your Linux environment, and then you can or your gedit or whatever. That's what you normally do. Okay. So now this is what cat command, and yeah, that's some other command. Let's see if anything more. What else is there? So traversing, how exactly you can reach that. You know how to do that, and okay, some of the key parts. I mean, that's basically those guys who know about. So once you start working on this environment, some of the key issues, I mean, which I faced when I was working on it, is removing a file and stuff like that. So that's where you may really face some challenge. So let's try doing that. So first, before that, find or search text, remove. Find or search text, no. So that's finding or searching text in the Hadoop environment is nothing but you need to write a program, or you need to do a search facility over there inside this thing. So that's how you may have to do it. Okay, inside the Hadoop environment. Or you'll just open it and then do a Unix command on top of it. Okay, let's see some of those things. What I want to do now is ls command. What exactly is this? Is there anything? CD documents, I guess documents. And one thing what you need to know is, see CD, I'm pressing this DOC and I'm putting a tab. Okay, the moment I put a tab, I need not type in almost command. I mean, Unix guys might be knowing it. So, I mean, non-Unix guys, yeah, so that's information for you. You need not type in the entire stuff. The tab is going to give you the remaining part. I can't see any file sitting over here. cd double dot ls state-wise distribute file XML program progress. Hivesite.xml. Let's play around with hivesite.xml anyways. So okay. Now my request is HDFS, GFS, minus LS. What are the files which we had in our system? ACAD, there was something, right? Yeah, in ACAD we had outdated. And now I want to create another folder inside ACAD. How am I going to do that? I want to create a folder inside ACAD. What should I be doing for that? Make directory, mkdir, okay. And inside ACAD, now I am going to mention something like test, right? My screen is not visible properly. One thing which I really don't know is how to increase this font size. Okay, let me do one thing. So if I made it full size, I will not be able to see your chat. Okay, for time being, let's live without here. Is this fine? Is this fine? So I'm trying to swap it between your chat and swap. Okay, all right. So let's. I can't see your chat for the time being because I'm completely in the VM instance. So let's do that. Mkdir acad.test. I'm going to create this text directory. Okay. What's happened? Okay. So it's not going to give you back any results. So that means I am assuming if it's created some issues, it's going to tell you, yeah, your creation of that file was not successful. But in otherwise, it's just going to say, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, test being created, right? That's done. Now my intention is, now what I want to do is, now if I put an ls, I have hivesite.xml sitting over here. And where exactly is this? It's in my Unix environment or it's in my client environment, right? This stuff I'm talking about, hivesite.xml. Okay. I want to bring this guy to the test directory. How will I do that? So now what I want, the one question which I want, or one clarification which I want to make from you, get from you guys is, now everyone is aware of what exactly is the client environment and what exactly is a Hadoop environment. So when you directly do an ls command, it's your client environment. But if you want to hit to the Hadoop environment, you need to do a Hadoop space dfs minus ls or whatever command. Hope that's clear, right? Yeah, Hadoop dfs put. Great. So let's do that. Hadoop dfs minus put. Other commands as well available. So one thing which you can do is minus help on the, I guess I can't recollect it. Yeah. So this is what it is. Okay. So all the available commands. So you can play around with. I think someone was asking, you want to play around with a lot more commands. So when you do Hadoop dfs minus help, these are all the available commands for you, and with explanation. Append, cat, checksum, group. I myself don't know some of those commands, so don't pick and choose each of those and ask me what it is. So it's better. So each and every of this explanation is given. What checksum does, what change does, change mode does, R recursive mode. All these explanations are given. So this is a good learning stuff for you. So this you can utilize, and even these are all the available commands that you can run on the Hadoop environment. Okay, where is this? Yeah, these are the only available commands from here to this one. Okay, so that's something which you can learn now. I guess copy from local works. No, it will work, Sapna. So if you, instead of doing copy from local, okay, someone has asked put or copy from local. Copy from local is also going to work exactly the same way, the way the put works. So it's calling the same API inside environment. So it's using exactly the same call functions. So it's one and the same basically. So maybe some of those things you can see, just like the Hadoop and HDFS, you can see the redundant functions. Similar ways, there are multiple. So what would have resulted is they would have planned to do some changes in the Hadoop 1 version, and then they were not able to accomplish it, and it should have been pushed onto the Hadoop 2 version. So that's how you can see similar functionality, but two different syntax. I'm not sure why exactly is. I mean, that's my assumption. Okay, HDFS to local. That is copy from local. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. There was a clarification. Okay, good. It's copy to. Correct. Copy to local. Correct. That's what it is, and it's copy from local and copy to local. There are two different things. Okay. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So let's play around with. Okay. Now, what was our problem statement? We have to move hype.xml. So you guys have already given a Hadoop DFS minus put. Now my hive site. So you can just tab it. It's going to go, and now it's sitting inside my acad, right? acad/test, right? Enter. So now, in order to see this, HDFS. Sorry. Okay, that's fine. HDFS DFS minus ls / acad / test. Now let's see where exactly you can see that. Yeah, so hive site.xml, and you guys have seen how exactly you can read that stuff. I can do a cat command over here. Make sure you remember this minus command, okay? Minus cat. And then do a hive search site.xml. Okay, I'm going to read that. Okay, so this is exactly the contents from that particular file. Okay, so that's something what we need to know. And now, what more? Now something that needs to be given is, okay, so now what we need to, okay, let's do one thing. Let's delete this stuff and then park remaining commands. So you guys can try it out how exactly you can run different commands that you can do. So placing multiple files, how to push it into this environment, play around with this environment. So this is just a basic introduction. I'm giving it to you. The rest is for you guys to play around. So now what I want to do is, okay, let me ask you a question. So in case if I want to delete this guy now, okay, I want to delete this test folder. How do I do that? Oh, I put a cat. I put an ls. I'm not able to see your response now. Let me come out of this environment. Okay, now I want to delete this test directory. How am I going to do that? Okay, let's try all these options which you guys are giving. So RM is the first option you're telling. So let's do an RM. Okay. No, I'm giving you this because one of the most frustrating part when I conduct these sessions, I mean, the corporate sessions which I'm talking about. So there I see guys sitting around removing so at times what will happen is there will be around 100 or 200 logs that is getting accumulated in your directory, and they're not aware of this command, how exactly you can delete this directory, and then that's a painful task. So some guys have already started deleting one by one the files just to get rid of it. Now so first intuition from you guys, RM. Okay, let's see what's going to give it. So it's telling it's a directory. Okay, now what is the suggestion someone else has given? RM, let's pick up one by one. RM is done. RM minus R, let's do that. RM minus R. Oh, it's deleted. I was expecting it not to delete. Oh, how come? That's pretty strange. It should not have deleted. That's not so cool. Let's do that once again. That's something.
I guess because it was having only one file. Else it would ask one by one for multiple files.
Yeah, but even if it's one file, if the directory is not empty, it should not have allowed us just to delete it. I would say it should have given me a message stating it's not empty. You can't delete it. Okay, let's try that out. But that's something new information for me. And okay, let's create the test. Test is deleted is what it's telling, right? Okay, now if I do a okay. Okay, sorry, I should have done this. A cat test. So I have test created inside that. So what we'll do is, where is my put command? Yeah, the first one is done. So okay, now let me just directly try deleting that once because I'm not convinced with that delete stuff. RM minus R. So just one file it will allow to delete, is it? That's pretty strange. Deleted. Okay, that's what it's doing. Let's pick in two files. Created. And now I've done a put command. Now what we need to do is we need to take one more file. Let's see. Just like the way Tarun has explained, let's move on with HDFS DFS minus put. Let's move in this big state-wise. Oh my God, that's a bigger one. State. All right. XML 2/acad/test. Let's move this guy also inside that. Okay, now let's look into acad. Okay, so we should have gone inside the test, right? Should have gone inside the test. Yeah, now I have two files. Now let's do HDFS DFS minus RM minus R and then /acad/test. Come on, man. Oh, that's something. I'm not sure how is this happening.
So that minus R is a recursive delete, sir. It will delete all the files.
Minus R is there, automatically it will delete the files without asking that question. If you remove that R option, then automatically it will ask the question again. Please delete all the files before deleting a directory.
Yeah, that's correct. But what I'm telling you is, so in case if there is a data sitting inside, is it not supposed to see? So basically, my understanding is you need to do an RM minus RF, which is forcefully deleting it, right? I mean, that's why the forceful command comes in place. So we are not doing a forceful command at all. I mean, this is the first time when I'm taking this training, it's happening. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure if there is something peculiar. I mean, specific done stuff over here in this account. Is this happening for all of you guys? Anyone tried this command? So make sure this should not happen basically unless and until there is something specifically done in the system. So okay, let's just to prove my point. Let's see if it's anything specific in the Hadoop environment. Let's create mkdir test over here. Okay, and cd test, right? And what does that touch? First, okay, and second, right? ls, okay, and then cat third. Let's put in some data. Okay. Okay, let's do a third. This is just a test. All right, and save it and close it. Nothing else but just convincing ourselves. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cd double dot ls. Where is my test? Yeah, I do have ls minus lrt. I do have a test available, which is nothing but here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do rm test, right? So rm cannot be removed, it's a directory it's telling. So now rm minus r test. So, oh, it's deleted basically. Tang. I have to take I go with you guys for it. Nothing else to but rm minus r. So when do we do a forceful delete? So, okay, so just minus f. That's pretty strange. Because, I mean, I was been doing it fine. Okay. So I may have to do if this is specifically, I mean, every one of this are facing the same, facing the same thing, right? Facing in the sense you're minus r recursive, it's directly one shot deleting every of this stuff. So what my understanding was, but if that is not the case, when do I use a force command? So maybe a Unix administrator or a Unix expert can answer that. When exactly minus f?
That RF is used at the time of directory, and the directory contain the files, and within that another file subdirectory is there. Within that some another files are there. But whenever parent-child directories are there, then we can use RF command.
Okay, so a directory is there, and I have multiple files sitting over there. When I use the minus r, it should delete it. But in case if the directory contains another directory, that is the time you need to use an RF is what you're telling.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good learning from me too then. All right. I'll take that up as a learning. Good. Okay. All right, so that holds good even in that case in the Hadoop environment too in that case. So it's exactly the same wrapper being created. So that's exactly how it's going to work. Okay. Yeah. So we have proved that is, but there is something that I'm getting. So I'll be playing around with that command and so post the sessions or maybe tomorrow. So just to make myself, thanks for this information. I'll try to play around with this. Okay. Now let's move on. But thank you. I mean, who just now spoke? I just get to know people one by one.
This is Venu.
Venu. Okay. Yeah.
And another request is I could not able to see the PPTs from the CADGIL website.
You cannot see the PPT from the CADGIL website, is it?
Yes, I am able to see only recordings.
No, I guess it's a different place altogether you're looking. That could be one reason.
No, because
I'll show you
the content. Okay.
Yeah, if before we wind up the sessions, I'll just show you where exactly you need to look into. So the dashboard, you might be able to just see exactly in the session, whereas in the topmost part, there might be a different tab altogether. I'll show you that, how exactly you can pick it up before we wind up the session for today. Okay. Recursive OS Sora directory. All right. So that's something which we see. Yeah, the similar kind of a command as someone has stated about, right? I think who was that? Marcus. So exactly the same is being used for copy from local, copy to local. So just try to play around with this command. Get used to this one. You can try all this command one by one. Okay, and there is a pretty good explanation what exactly to delete the file abc.text and all those things. Basically all that being said, now this is our guy. So Hadoop code site and HTTP site.xml, map site.xml, yarn site.xml. So let's look into some of this now. Where exactly I need to go? So this should be in my CD user /local /Hadoop. Okay. ls and then cd etc and ls cd Hadoop ls. Now ls star hyphen site dot star. If I give, let me put minus LRT over here so that I can get in a much more. So now these are the files we are talking about. So yarn site.xml, core site.xml, map.site.xml, hdfs.site.xml. Okay. Now let's see what are the contents available in each of these sites. Okay. So first and the foremost, what we said, hdfs.site.xml. gedit. Okay, so basically one of the editor which normally is there available in most of the installation. By default, it's coming. So gedit is one of the editor but you can use your own stuff. Gedit means you can use exactly like a notepad or anything which you are comfortable with. But yeah, you can use your own, whichever you want. You can install it and use it. So HDFS site is what we said, right? HDFS site.xml. Okay, so this is exactly how it looks like. So whenever I created a file, you could have seen that so where is the file that I created? Okay, I need to open a new terminal. At times you might be finding all those issues. So now what is happening is, since I have opened the gedit, this terminal is locked for the gedit session. Okay, that's why you can't do anything over here now. In this particular session. Okay, so it's locked for this gedit. Okay, if you do something over here forcefully, those things, you're going to corrupt this particular session. So make sure you're not doing that. So in case you want to play around with some other data set, open a new terminal. Okay, and then what was I supposed to do? Okay, yeah. So hdfs dfs -ls /acad/test, right? What our file was, we had a file sitting over there. Oh, what happened? Okay, we deleted that file, is it? Oh, acad. And then I had in data, right? In data. Okay, and inside that in data there was a DC, and inside DC I have one single section, and you can see the replication factor is 1. Okay, and the reason behind that is I given that this is the property that has been set, dfs.replication, and which is this file, hdfs.site.xml. Okay, in hdfs.site.xml, what I mentioned is dfs.replication, which is nothing but my replication factor. I have stated my replication factor is 1. Okay, and this is where exactly my home dfs.nameNode.dar, it's a directory. The name node directory and the data node directory is sitting in. This is my name node. This is where exactly the name node sits, and this is exactly where my data node data sits. Okay, so that's how exactly is this. Let me ask. Okay, how to edit a file in HDFS? You cannot do that. This environment, Hadoop environment, is not meant for editing. So yeah, Mac may not be able to help you out over here with this. So basically, if you want, do you have any sort of an edit or something? Why exactly? Just because of the reason, think of the real-time scenario. We are not going to have a very small data, right? It's not KB or this thing. We are talking about data which is of terabytes of length or terabytes of size, right? Inside that terabytes of data, if you're going to search somewhere and write it, that itself is going to take you maybe 2 or 3 hours for one single line write process command. So that's not exactly what the system is. It's one time write and multiple time read. So that's exactly what. But pretty good question. So that's how you need to get your intuitive mind done, so that you understand how exactly the system works.
So VI also doesn't work here?
No, not inside the Hadoop environment. It will work in your client environment, but it's not in the Hadoop environment. So any command prefixed with HDFS or the Hadoop DFS, no edit command is going to work for you.
Okay.
Okay. So so what we just now saw was Hadoop environment, right? So this is so one more thing to understand is, so you might be seeing this very less number of parameters only available over here. That's not the real thing. So what's happening is HDFS site, there is HDFS site hyphen default.xml, which is having the entire parameter. So maybe that's close to 80 or no, 80 might be a slight exaggeration. So maybe 20 or 30 kind of properties that has been set out over there. Okay, and any of those properties that has been set, if you want to overwrite it, that's exactly the time I use for HDFS site.xml. And you're not supposed to play around with that HDFS-site.default at all. So that can screw up the environment completely. So you should be never touching that particular file, but you should be playing around with HDFS-site.xml. I mean, you should be careful about even this file. Once you make some here and there, it's tough to debug and figure out where exactly things went wrong unless and until you are the person who actually did it. Okay, so be careful about changing parameters in this file and stuff like that. So key thing that you need to understand is replication factor and where exactly is the name node and the data node directory is being situated. That's what you actually use this for. Next one, let me have a quick time check if you are on. Okay, we have got a lot of time. Now we have, okay, so this is the environment. Edit.
There is
Yeah.
one question here. I just want to ask
Sure.
one question.
Yeah.
Like we had shown the configuration file in which we configured one data node, right, by providing the directory of the data node.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so like that we can create multiple data nodes, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And every data replication factor will be same for all the data nodes.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah. So now the environment what we are working over here is Coras. Okay. Well, that is not covered in our session anywhere, right? There are three different environment what we have. The one is single node installation. Other one is distributed node installation. The third one is pseudo distributed mode. Okay. Let me repeat that. Single node installation. Okay. That means the entire stuff is being made one single. Or the entire installation is made in one single laptop. Okay. Other one is distributed mode installation, and that is the real kind of installation where you will have three different computer, or maybe four different. Exactly the way we have drawn that figure. Four different computer. One is made as my master, and the remaining three is made as my node. So that's exactly the real distributed environment. So that's called distributed installation, and this is the pseudo distributed installation. What we are currently doing, it's actually simulation environment kind of a thing. So that's what we are playing around with. So some of those real-time scenario we may not be able to, I mean, real-time in the sense the real code stuff we may not be able to see over in the pseudo distributed environment. But yeah, in the real-time production environment, you'll be able to see a lot more actual computer exist and stuff like that. So that's a prime difference. Just FYI.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. Code site.xml. Now our guys DFS. Oh, sorry. This is our environment right now. I have to go for mapred site.xml. Yeah, so basically what we have mentioned over here is, so this is typically the difference you can see in terms of Hadoop 1 version and Hadoop 2 version. Okay, so in the Hadoop 1 version, you could actually see what are the framework structure and a lot more parameters over here. But here what we're telling is MapReduce.framework is being used as yarn. So rely on yarn.site.xml is what it exactly means by this property. Okay, so the moment it mentioned yarn, I will be relying on yarn.site.xml. So let me open that. Yarn site.xml. Yeah, so gedit yarn site.xml. So I can see my node manager auxiliary service. And to be frank, I don't know what exactly is that. MapReduce shuffle, yarn node manager auxiliary service, shuffle class. Yeah, I really don't know what exactly is those parameter meant for and what exactly. So you can see whatever is the yarn related this thing, you will be able to see in this particular configuration file. This is where you're actually going to see. Okay. and core site, HDFS. Okay, you're left with core site, right? Gedit core site.xml. I think I made some mistake over there. It should have been closed without saving. Core site is missing. Okay. So these are, okay, I got full host. So these are the common properties where exactly which is being hosted. This is the IP address or the local host, how exactly the mapping is being done. That is what default FS. This is the mapping being done. So that's what it means. And proxy group and proxy host. I'm not sure why exactly, what is the significance of these two. Let me try finding out this right now. Because these are all typical administrative part of it, which I really don't deal with it at all now. Yeah, I used to remember this, but yeah, I forgot. So let me try figuring out what exactly. But yeah, so these are all the keys configuration file which you play around with when you get into those environment. And core site XML or any of this thing, in case you get into administrator part, more you will be handling with this HDFS side and yarn site.xml. I mean, these are the two things which, I mean, if your job demands you to do some sort of administrative work, you may be ending up changing that HDFS site and yarn site. The remaining files we normally don't touch much over here. Let me check if any questions. I don't see any questions now. Okay, so container stuff, I'll explain that with more. Yeah, localhost 900. So that's exactly okay. So what you can see to make you guys understand what exactly. See, the 50070 is directly. Oh man, what's happening? So localhost 500. This is getting pointed to the. Oh, this is how it works, is it? Okay. This is exactly what. So all the files which we saw in our scenario, it's getting routed over here. So what you can see is data node. Okay. Inside the data node. Browse the file system. And this is where so you can see, you remember we had a cat guild folder, there was a customer.csv folder. So this is the GUI version of it, which has been enabled for the our Hadoop environment. So this exactly speaks about, okay, this a cat folder we created. I think we have created temp, and when we deleted it, right? No, we have created a test one. So this data we can see exactly the way it is. How many number of blocks is contained? Size is 420 bytes. A cat, what is contained inside the cat folder. There should have been a means by which you should be able to even see the data. Why? Okay, yeah. Okay, so now option is only download, I guess. Okay. The previous version of it, we were able to actually see the data. Now you may have to really download and see the data. So let's transaction data, save file. Let's bring it. This is the data. Okay, this is exactly how the data looks like, the CSV file. Okay. Okay, so this is a GUI form where actually routing it to, yeah. So user, nothing more. Now let me see. So how these files get distributed to different nodes in distributed mode. What do you mean by that? How these files get distributed to different nodes in distributed mode? I didn't get your question. So how exactly when a file is okay? How exactly those replication or those different data getting routed to a different node is what you're asking? I think that's what you're asking, right? Yeah. So that's what I said. So that's that kind of information you're not able to see in the pseudo distributed mode. But whereas in the real mode, what is happening is in the name node you'll be mentioning in the host file you will be even mentioning the IP of the remaining nodes. So it know where to communicate, and all this information will be provided in those kind of architecture. So the host name will contain the IP address of the remaining. So name node will contain the IP address of all the data node, and the data node, whichever is required to interchange information is required, those IP address will be provided to each of those. So separate file or the host file will contain those interconnecting informations, and that's how they understand, okay, where I need to pick up, which IP I need to go for and fetch the data, and which IP I need to go and deliver the data. So that information is available. Okay. So now the remaining stuff is what data management. Okay, let me. Okay, I guess by this time we know what it is, right? Yarn what it is, HDFS what it is. Okay. So the slides talks about. So now let's go from beginning. Yeah, this is all what we covered. On the demo, you can also play around more with these commands. Governance integration, Hadoop ecosystem, how exactly it looks like. So in our current environment, which we are going to see is, so this is the place where the actual storage is going to happen, which we said Hadoop distributed file system. Storing is going to happen over here. On top of this, there is going to be a yarn layer, which is yet another resource negotiator. That's what the yarn layer is. Okay. And on top of this is what all of our other ecosystem sits. MapReduce, which you're going to see in a couple of sessions. Pig. So, okay, just to give you a brief in case what exactly is a MapReduce and Pig. MapReduce, we write a real Java program. Okay, so in case if I want to see some processing of my data, I'm going to write a Java program, a MapReduce program, and then that program is nothing but the distributed processing program. It picks up data from a different nodes, do some magic, brings all the data together and throw it to the client. And that's exactly what the MapReduce program is. Now, in case if you're not a Java programmer, if you have limited information about Java, Pig comes for your savior. That's Pig, religiously used by a person who's playing a role of a business analyst. Okay, so he is not good at SQLs and stuff like that. That's the time you're going to use a Pig language. So it's just like flow level. I mean, it's a complete flow language. We're going to see that, and maybe have 5 or 6 sessions. After 5 or 6 sessions, so it's just language kind of a thing where you're going to merge, bring in data together, filter data, and all those things. But if you're good in SQL kind of a language, that's exactly where you're going to use a Hive language. So select star and very, very limited. Okay, I mean if you're very, very good in SQL language, doing multiple index queries, joins, and all those things, I don't think you'll be able to flex your muscles that much because we don't use a lot queries of certain limitations. So there is very, very basic stuff for queries that you can run on top of the Hadoop environment. Some complex queries are there, but yeah, it's not that extensively complex, which you would have normally ran in your organization or in your normal shop. No SQL database, how exactly is going to differ? So all this while we have been playing around with RDBMS tables, rows, and columns, you're going to learn something new about it. It's slightly complicated stuff when you need to go outside the comfort zone of your SQL RDBMS table structure, rows and columns when we are dealing with the stuff. But once you get the grip of the concept, pretty clear, pretty straightforward stuff. Storm and stream storm. Not played around. This we don't have in our, except even the Solar is nothing but it's a search engine system. This tool we don't have in our stuff. In memory is part which will be an ebook will be provided for you to learn in detail on this. Security aspects, don't consider for that. This is completely an administrative role. I think right now the security aspect that has been much covered in terms of Hadoop is Kerberos security. And since the data is now getting pushed into even AWS or the Amazon Web Services, that's where more reliable stuff are happening. They themselves is providing a high level security. So that's also one thing covered. Operations, Ambari, Outbreak, Zookeeper. Zookeeper is actually a coordinating agent for all this. I have multiple ecosystem like MapReduce, BigHive, Uzi, and so many other stuff. Uzi's, okay, where is Uzi? Yeah, Uzi is a scheduler basically. If you would have worked in, so those guys who was there in the mainframe environment, TA7 scheduler or cron job. So that's going to do a scheduling. So a very, very fashioned enough sequence running of a job is what exactly the work of a scheduler, which is being taken up by Uzi. And all this environment together, one single administrator who concentrates on different ecosystem and bring all these guys together. That's exactly what is being done by Zookeeper. Kafka, Zoom, Scoop. Okay, so these guys, Flume, Kafka, NFS. I have not dealt with NFS. I think it's the real, what is that? The same. If you want to share the two regions, right? Is a Unix and Windows environment. That's, we rely on an NFS environment. That's exactly what it is. What I believe is, I'm not very sure about it. But Flume and Kafka is nothing but a real-time environment. So now what you can see is Twitter data, right? It's a real-time data. The moment you're not happy with any of your product, log into the Twitter and start abusing those guys or telling that you have a worst service ever in this, you can see immediate response coming. That's exactly what is happening in terms of Flume and Kafka. So real-time data picked up, brought into a system. So if you're running a shop, think like if you're running a hotel industry or for example, Airbnb, which I faced very recently. So Airbnb has got into India very recent time. So if you have an issue with them, the moment you log into that, so what they'll have their own technical team who will be pulling the data. When you do a hashtag on Airbnb, they'll take up all this data, see whether it's any positive commands, negative commands, what exactly is the customer sentiments about it. They try to rectify this thing. So that's exactly done by Flume and Kafka. So streaming data, when I say streaming data, the moment you put in your selfie, put in the Facebook, it's going to go immediately. So that's exactly what the real-time streaming is. Scoop, we're going to cover the Scoop as well. So Scoop, we're going to see in detail. So basically what Scoop is, you have your Oracle environment, or you have your MySQL environment, all the RDB or DB2 environment existing in your existing current shop, right? Or Netezza, or for that matter, any ETL system. It is sitting in your data warehousing environment. Okay. Now, what you want to do is very simple command, just to take the entire database from your ETL environment or your data warehousing environment and then push into the Hadoop. Scoop is very, very, very powerful tool, and you can, size doesn't matter is the real thing for the Scoop. Scoop, you're going to run just one line command, but it's going to bring you, go and fetch the entire database. Maybe you have 50 tables inside the particular database. It's going to bring in the entire database to you and store it exactly the same way in the Hadoop environment, or maybe exactly the same way as Hive. Hive is nothing but exactly in the row, column, table structure format. So that's powerful what Scoop is. Small guy, chota guy, but very, very powerful guy. That's what it is all about. Yeah. Ting. How exactly data access, security, framework, powerful management, security of integrated HDFS and multiple layer, critical features of authentication, memorization, HDFS single. Okay. I'm just checking out. That's all we spoke about. Name the NoSQL database over Hadoop. Okay, that's the next session. Can any other framework in big data work without Hadoop? Name a NoSQL database works over Hadoop. Any? You're able to pick that? Okay, so some questions, is it? Can we use Python? Okay, so let's bring in the next 8 minutes. So that's all we have for today, apart from playing around with the remaining environment. So this is something which and let's introduction to map. Okay, that's what. Okay, the next session start with the MapReduce stuff. So that's the core backbone of the Hadoop environment, how it started with. So MapReduce, we're going to cover in the next session. MapReduce lifecycle on Hadoop, example with a word count, and there is funda behind even the word count. Okay, and in case of any issues, anything that you are facing in terms of a technical stuff, make sure you're putting a note to support us at acadguild.com. So 24 hours is a normal turnaround time, or within a couple of days, we'll definitely make sure we can get those answered. HPage is a NoSQL, I guess. Bingo, Kaushik. Okay, now let me take up some of these questions. High level platform to create MapReduce job. Sorry, Vikalp, I didn't get that. Can we use Python? Yes, you can very much use Python over here. So .NET, Java, Python, C Sharp, I guess can be used, but I'm not aware of anything else other than Python and Java. So Python I mainly use for playing around with the Spark environment. That's where PySpark, I believe. That's where. And other than that, normally what we rely on is Java. Advantage of Java, advantage of, how many of you are there over here who's a non-Java, who's not a Java resource, basically who doesn't work much on Java. So basically for those guys is actually what Peg and Hive meant for. Okay, I mean I'm C++ C hash guy. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, but I think even C hash can be worked on it, but I have not seen any use case or anywhere, Sagar, where we normally works on that. So and there are not many sessions, which not too much, but I know Java, yeah, that's all required. So we don't need a very extensive knowledge of Java. So very, very basic stuff is what we really need. So you're good to go. So yeah, and even if it's not there, so one of the big advantage or the benefit of stuff is, if you don't know, I mean, even if you know Java, many of us recommendation would be, so a very simple script which reads data from a HDFS and then try to project some reporting is highly recommended to use Pig or Hive, because that way you're going to spend maybe 5 lines of programming where exactly the same thing you may have to write maybe 40 to 50 lines of Java program. So programmer also is a headache, as well as the maintenance, as well as developing time also does matter. Whereas Pig or Hive, if you're going to use, yeah, that's how exactly it is. So that's a kind of difference. And when the Spark coming in nature, so slightly we are going to push a different, I mean, we are going to play around with an API world. So what coming up is maybe another 2 years down the line. Maybe only guys who's going to really creating an operating system kind of a thing or something of that sort is going to use Java or any of those programming languages. And the remaining all application developers or who's doing is going to play around with those APIs. Exposed APIs, take those and use whatever required parameters on that. I mean, that's how exactly the environment is moving. So more than putting logic in place, you may have to think in perspective of the business logic rather than how the challenges in the technology. I mean, there is some other guy who's going to do that stuff for you. So that's where we are leading to. So technical complexity is going to get reduced day by day. Yeah, so Pig and Hive is going to help you out getting those things sorted out in terms of Hadoop environment. Yeah, but time being, you don't have much of a choice than going with learning stuff. Yeah, but exactly the same thing has been done even with Python. So if you are pretty good in Python, you can. I mean, is there anyone who has done extensive work on Python over here? Any project being done or who has worked on prior experience on Python? So that. All right. So those guys can. I mean, if you don't think, okay, I'm not really want to stick on my hand with the Java stuff, you can. But I may not be of much help because I've just started my journey with Python. So, but it's pretty interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's past couple of not able to do much of stuff because I'm into doing some other stuff. Yes, Pig is survivor for us. Yeah. But the only issue is where it really, how long will it take to learn Python? So as far as I'm concerned, I have picked it up maybe 2 weeks or slightly less than that. But yeah, it's an ongoing process or an ongoing learning process. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I'm pretty much sure. Looking at this batch, that looks like a Superman and Superwoman batch. So you guys should be able to pick up stuff pretty easily. So I would say go ahead and try that. Python would be definitely. I mean, there's a huge traction for a Python being given now, because Python is coming in all aspects. The programming wise, it's going to be a very simple this thing, and they're incorporating all other ecosystem with that. So. Yeah. Yes, Vikalp. Yeah. Any questions now? So we had 2 more minutes before we wind up. So, and I would definitely recommend just get a feel of your Hadoop environment. And in case if you get stuck anywhere, make sure you're putting a note to Acadgirl this thing, because, and I'm going to send you the installation process as well. Python resource. So even I went ahead with. Let me just have a look. So in case if I get it, I'll send across in the emails. Yeah, I think I did get some good resource. So it was 6 to 7 months back. I was looking. I recommend some Python stuff. I really think I nailed down some Python resource which I found pretty good. Yeah, I mean the moment I get it, I'll share with you guys. I'll do that. Yeah, that's all I have for today. So in case if you guys have something. Okay, Vikal, my question is, if we have -ls and HDFS, DFS -ls, both are different environment, it's fine. But tell me when we can't use ls. Some sort of Java also, please. Some sort of, okay. Yes, let me check out. Okay, so let me note that point for me. You guys wanted some Java source, Python source, Java source. Let me speak to my tech or the management folks itself. Is there any Java source, and what exactly Python source? Yeah, even I have just Googled and figured this out. So yeah, then Java Point. Yeah, Java Point is pretty good. That's true. Then one more site is there, right? Similar to Java Point, right? I can't. I'll tell it. So let me quickly answer to who was asked that question. Vikal questions, right? What is the difference between? So what you need to understand is, let me. Oh, come on! What happened? I got killed. Let me try to understand if my understanding is correct. I mean, let me try to. So, we use -ls and HDFS, DFS -ls. Both are different environment. It's fine. But tell me when we can't use ls. Okay, so if you want to know about the information inside a Hadoop environment, right? So what you should be using. So if I want to know what exactly is the data sitting inside my Hadoop environment, so basically, what did we create? There is a directory created as a CAD, right? So if I want to know what is sitting inside a CAD, what should be the command that I should be using? I'm targeting differently Vikalp over here. What should I be the command should I be using to find out what all the files that is sitting inside my ACAD directory? No one is responding. Hope I'm audible to everyone. Yeah, I know in extra 2 minutes. So HDFS, DFS, -ls. So key point, HDFS, DFS or Hadoop DFS. Okay, let me not bring in confusion for you guys. Hadoop DFS. Hadoop DFS is what I need to use to find out what is sitting in my ACAD, right? What are the directories sitting inside my ACAD? What are the files sitting inside my ACAD directory? I need to use HDFS, DFS, okay? But if I just do an ls command, this are all the files that my environment or my current Linux environment, right? That's exactly what is client for me now. So that's a core difference. So in case we want to hit Hadoop environment, bear in mind that Hadoop DFS or FS needs to be prefix. That's the key thing. Okay. So hope that answers your question.
Shazi, just one question.
Sure.
Are you using the same VM package what we downloaded from the Hackett Guild web page?
Yes, you should be. Yes, it is exactly.
Because I'm not able to find out all these dash site XMLs.
Oh, okay, okay. This may not be, because I've been, so I heard there it has been refined slightly, but it's all one of the, okay. Oh, I see many other commands. Oh, I didn't see this response from you guys. Okay, so basically what has happened is when I was conducting my previous sessions, I played around this environment. That's why you might be seeing slight different kind of files. What are you not able to see? A CAD folder, is it this one?
Yes, correct.
No, this I have created. So basically you may not be seeing, let me see, HDFS.
And even these XML files,
XML
SDFS,
file.
Yarn.
No, that you should be able to see. So where you should be looking into is CD, okay,
Okay.
/ user / local, and then put / and put a Hadoop and then put a tab. Okay, so it's under / user / local / Hadoop -2 this thing. Yeah, so since it's been recorded, you can use this. Okay, and then you put a next one would be Hadoop, right? Sorry, next one should be etc, right? Inside etc you should be able to see Hadoop. Inside that is what actually you will see these files. Then what I did is ls *site .xml. You should be able to see exactly the same location. Okay, and then do a -lrt. We should be able to files. So when I do a present working directory, this is exactly the location you need to traverse through. User local Hadoop 2 etc / etc / Hadoop. This path you need to traverse to find these files.
Okay, got it.
All right. So if browse outside, can I see those Hadoop environment files? Okay, so Hadoop environment we use it correct. Okay, it takes time to type. Okay, that's fine. So if browse outside, can I see these Hadoop environment files? Vikalp, you may have to help me out figuring out what exactly is that. If browse outside, can I see those Hadoop environment files? This files you're talking about, I guess, right? HDFS site.xml.
Actually, at the time of HDFS DFS, sir, it shows only 2 files, and at the time of only LS, it will show many files. So, sir, I am asking if we browse Miss GI environment, so can we able to see that only 2 files in Hadoop environment?
Okay, yeah, in the GUI environment, this is what you're talking about. No, this environment, you will not be able to see the other file, but you will be able to see the Hadoop environment files over here. So basically this root command, so exactly what you saw with HDFS, DFS -ls and this command, that's exactly what you're going to see. See, this customer, ACAD, HPA store, temp, user, and zookeeper. That's exactly what you're going to see over here.
Okay,
See,
and these
customer,
all these
ACAD,
files,
HPA, temp, user.
all these
Yeah,
files are stored in our file directory only, in our computer only.
Yes, these are sitting in your directory only. And what you need to understand is, you remember our HDFS site.xml, right?
Yes, sir.
There
Yes,
were
sir.
2 things. Where is that guy now? LS will give me that. Yeah. Yeah, this guy. So gedit. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good point. HDFS site. Yeah, we are running maybe 7 minutes overshoot. HDFS site.xml. So now if I open this, this is exactly where you can see those files, data.directory.
Okay.
So your stuff is being kept in this particular.
Okay,
So it's
okay,
not
sir.
very straightforward. You can see it. It might be slightly in the binary format and all those things, some of those files, but this is exactly where it's getting stored in a real time. But in a Hadoop environment, that is getting, in a virtual concept, they are making it into Hadoop environment. That's how exactly things are done.
Okay, sir.
But yeah, try to play around. Try to get those questions yourself answered and try to play around, and we can discuss on the next sessions as well. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. And sir, did you ask about the installations of all these Hive and Pig? Means manual
Yes,
IaaS.
yes. So that installation is what I'm going to share you guys. I think it's getting a little late for me too. So maybe not sending it today. Tomorrow morning you should be able to see it in here. This is the installation stuff you should be first doing, and after that, okay, you want to separately install Hive. Is what you said, right? That's
Yes,
what you're
sir.
talking about.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I missed. I'm sorry, man. I missed that part. Separate installation of Hive. And yeah, I know that document is already there, Hive and Pig. Okay, I'll get those document. I don't think that has been placed in the dashboard. So I'll separately take it up and then send it across to you guys. But give me some couple of days for that. Even those guys wanted to figure out where exactly, because it's been some 3-4 batches before when they were actually sharing it. So we may need some sort of a time. Installation manuals are there on the webpage. Tarun is stating it's there on the webpage. All right. Sure. Okay. Sure. All right. We'll be sharing you with those informations. Maybe give me a couple of days time. So I have just taken note of it. I missed it last time. Sorry for that. Yeah.
Yeah, Chandran here. This is our fourth class, right?
That's correct. This is the fourth class.
Yeah, already I'm seeing 4 recordings over there. Is it repeating, or I don't know? That third one, it has for 2 recordings.
I think they might have split it down. Even I noticed the 2 recordings, but I didn't have the page. I mean, I really didn't have time to look at what exactly is that. So chances might be they might have multiple record, or there used to be at times even an audio file, separate audio file. So I'm not sure if you guys have downloaded it and checked what exactly is that. At times they separately give a audio files and video files. So maybe something of that sort of a goof up might have happened. It should be one and the same.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right, yeah. Fine. Not able to download, Kaushik? What do you mean by that? You're not able to see that recordings, is
Yeah,
it?
previously they were allowing to download. Now they have blocked. I think only you can view it.
Okay. Oh,
Dashboard upgraded and after that I'm not able to download.
oh, okay. So maybe that there might have been some changes to the system. So it might be you may not be able to download. I'm not sure about it. It might be the management.
You can have the video over the web page. If you right click, then you can get the option to download.
Okay.
I tried to download. Yeah.
There
The
comes
video
the
is
solution.
available over the web page. You need to right click.
Okay. Okay. Some guys are not able to get that option, it seems. So let me check. I mean, if it's just intentional means I will not be able to do anything. But in case not, it might be all management decision. So if a download is being meant, I'll just cross check it. Download option available. I'll check this and send a note. Okay. Yeah. Nothing. I don't want to keep you awake a lot more times. Yeah. In case nothing more, we'll wind up for today, and you guys all have a wonderful weekend and good night, and speak to you on next Tuesday. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good night.